How are you?
I'm good, yeah. Just had my night's sleep on a boat, which is always nice.
What was it like?
It's okay, there's no Wi-Fi or anything, but you do what you can.
Okay. Well, before we talk about the music you've been making recently, I'd like to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the first album you ever bought?
First album. That is I don't know if it's embarrassing. It's Eminem and V12. Okay. That was the first one. And I'm still a massive Eminem fan, believe it or not. I saw him at V Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think he's amazing how he writes his songs.
And if you go back to that time, do you remember why Eminem and why?
I don't know. I think it was just on the radio all the time, and that just I just got into it for some reason. Okay. It's not really. I don't know why, but I just must have just liked it.
But you say you still enjoy his music, so
yeah.
What is it about him that makes him good?
I don't know. I think I love how he links words together and what he does with words, and how he puts songs he sings like he changes his voice so it sounds like conversation sometimes and stuff. I think he's amazing writer.
So I assume you were quite young when you bought that album?
Yeah, I'm not sure how young. But.
So did you try to rap?
No, I know where to not go.
Okay. But I think you started playing guitar quite young as well.
Yeah.
Age 9 I have written down. So what got you into music? Did you grow up in a very musical household?
Not really. My mum and dad were never, they liked sort of the pop stuff, but they never were massively into music with big record collections and that. But my guitar teacher, when I was 9, was to be my guitar teacher when I was 9, came into the school and played She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain when I was in the assembly, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play guitar. And then he said, put your hand up if you want lessons. So I put my hand up. Well, I didn't put my hand up because I didn't know if I was going to get in trouble for spending my mum's money. And then and then I started getting lessons with him, and he sort of taught me the building blocks of the blues and stuff. So that's how I started.
Is that the era of music you mentioned, the blues? Is that what you kind of gravitated towards immediately?
Yeah, because he was teaching me it. For some reason, I just really loved it.
Right.
And I like the British blues. I went to see Gary Moore, and there's a big Gibson fan. And then I went. But I was more into the deep South American blues and the acoustic stuff like Robert Johnson and Son House and things. And then I started just learning them sort of things. And then my sister started singing, and I was 13 and she was 14, and she used to sing, and we used to go round all the pubs in Shropshire because you can get away with it in the countryside. And I wasn't drinking or anything, but we were just playing at open mics and stuff and learning.
What was that like? Did you kind of was that an important time to kind of get those skills?
Yeah, definitely. And I used to be every Monday night I was in the open mic, and then there's loads of others that if I could make them, sometimes we'd do 7 in a week. And we just played, and then she went to uni, and I was I had no one to sing, no one would sing for me, so I started singing, and then learned loads of blues songs.
Did you know you had a voice?
I don't know. The first time I played was in this little pub down in Cornwall when I was 15 or 16, and I was persuaded to have a go at it, so I jumped up on stage and sung 3 blues songs, and I think everyone loved it. I probably sounded awful, but after I was so buzzing, and I was sleeping. There wasn't enough beds in the caravan, so I was sleeping under the caravan, and I just couldn't get to sleep because I was buzzing about playing.
So that excitement, that's what. So, in terms of performing, then, do you get the same excitement now?
I love getting on stage, that buzz, and you never lose it because the gigs are always changing, and you're always having to adapt. Like this, yesterday I played in some interview things we're playing, and then one was in a cafe, and then the other one was in a church.
Right.
And they're just, but the last gig I did was in a proper venue. So your set always adapts, and the way you play it adapts. So it's always exciting still.
And well, you mentioned delving into the blues. So were you writing at that point, or writing your own songs?
I did, but didn't play them to anyone. No,
Why not?
I don't know. Just wasn't that confident with it really. And then, but I had sort of like 60 blues songs that I could just reel off, and I used to just do that in the pub. When from about 17, I was doing it full time. As in, I was making just about enough money to survive. Like,
so, but at that point, you knew you wanted to pursue music and you wanted to go down that road?
Well, originally I wanted to be a carpenter and go on to making guitars. So that was my main plan. And I did the music at school. I failed music at school because I was just technically I'm useless. and then I went on to do carpentry. And then I was always playing the whole time, but never believed that you could actually do music for it. But I was in the workshop and I was walking through the workshop, and a bloke was using the chop saw, which is like a spinning blade. And he chopped a piece of wood off, and it flicked out of the machine, and it hit me square on in the eye. So this one, the left eye doesn't work properly. So it's like double vision and no depth perception and all that. So I couldn't do the fine work. And I'd got a bit of work experience with Patrick James Eggle making acoustic guitars, but I just couldn't do it because my eyes and hands weren't matched working together. And from that, and I was like a bit of time I was putting up some tents and marquees and stuff, trying to just work places, and then I just didn't like it. So I just the one day, it's the beginning of the year, and I was like, I'm gonna just try. If I get this many gigs, I can just about survive, get enough money for just to rent. I was living with a couple of mates, 2 drummers, which was awful. And then
must have been noisy.
Yeah, it was. We were all really noisy, but. Yeah, it's cheap rent, but I put a pin in my house in a map and then drew a 2-hour piece of 2 hours worth of bit of string, and then found every town and city in that 2 hours, and then rung up, and found 5 pubs in each town and city. Then I rung them all over a few weeks, and drink 40-50 pubs a day and get 1 gig, and then I really annoyed loads of people, just can I have a gig, can I have a gig? And then you get better on the phone. And first year I did 150 gigs, and second year was 150, 200, and then I just carried on doing that. And you could get a bit more money up in Shropshire, for a gig. So, yeah.
But in that sense, then, so the drive was definitely there. Then you did want to do it. You wanted to.
Well, I always wanted to do it. I just needed to believe, and that. The eye thing was the best and worst thing that ever happened, because it pushed me into doing it.
So what was that the turning point, so to say, that you kind of were almost forced to go all in?
Yeah, it was just right, you got to do something now. Everyone seems to like the music, and I literally live for it, so I might just do it. And it was hard. I'd post-it notes all over my room saying, "Call this guy back," and. Don't call them again, they weren't very nice. And second year I could sort of drop some of the rougher places where you'd worrying about your gear and stuff.
Is there maybe one memory that sticks out from those years, a gig?
I used to play for this Irish. It wasn't in Ireland, but it was at a base in England, an army base, Irish Guards, and that could get a bit rowdy sometimes. There'd be fights, and it's the only place I've ever seen someone do air penny whistle, as I was playing. Yeah, that was cool.
And then, well, you mentioned that you did write songs, but you weren't showing them to anybody.
Yeah.
When did you find the confidence to kind of go, hey, this is something I've written?
That's kind of a sad story, But it's my grandma passed away, and I wrote a song. It's the quickest song I ever wrote, and I showed it to my mum, and she was like, "Oh, really? You should it's a nice song." And then I went to a friend from the open mics and recorded it at his house and showed my nan and stuff, and she was like, because it's my nan's mum,
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, we should play it at the funeral." So it's like, depressingly, I think that was the first sort of time I played a recording of my own stuff to anyone.
What was that? I don't want to go into too much, but what was that like to have, especially at a moment like that, to have hear your own song and to have other people hear it as well?
Yeah, it was weird because everyone was there for like different reasons.
Sure.
But it made a few people cry, which was like, I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but I haven't played that song for a while, so maybe I'll have to bring it out again.
But so at that point you kind of felt I can show my work to other people, and so where do you go from there? I think if we take Open Hands and Enemies, what was the first track that you started working on that ended up there?
Well, I think it was Made to Love You. Okay. I wrote about a friend in Shropshire, in Shrewsbury, like been through a like horrible relationship with a girl, and she was being violent to him. It was like horrible to hear him say like, and I just went back, and we had a couple of beers together and stuff. Then I went back and then was just thinking like, you never really hear about it the other way around.
Sure.
Like, and then I ended up writing that song, and then that's sort of the lead track on that EP.
But then I assume that friend has heard the song?
Yeah.
So what was his reaction?
He knows. I think he's cool with it. Okay. Like, he hasn't hit me or anything yet.
No, but because these are very personal things yourself, but so you don't just look at kind of what's going on in your own life, but you also look at what's happening around you.
Like, you never know what's going to trigger a song. I don't like to be like, I write about this, or I write about or I do this and do that. Or like, I want to sound like this sort of music, because I'm so easily influenced by everything. But sometimes you do just want to write a bluegrass song.
Sure.
Or like, you do just want to like play a rock song or something.
Right.
Like, you don't know.
So in that sense, because like you say, you kind of grew up playing the blues, and then your music is a little bit more eclectic. So are you very free when you start writing? Do you think about what people might expect or what? Yeah,
sort of. I always like to try and do it so they're gonna like it, but yeah, it's hard to. I really don't have a way of writing. I know some people like go to a place and stuff, but sometimes like, you can sit down in like the best place that you could imagine you could write a song in, and then just nothing happens. Or you can be like on a bus somewhere, and then all of a sudden you see something. It's like, and then that, makes you sort of go off on one.
So with the EP just been released, but are you thinking about an album now?
Yeah, so I like always thinking about like an album. Just don't have a date for it yet or anything, but we've got all the songs. Okay. Well, all the songs, but kind of adding to them all the time. So it's constantly changing. That's the.
Well, what do you notice about, because you say you're continuously writing? So what do you notice between songs you've written maybe a year, 2 years ago, and compare it to now?
I don't know, because it's really weird. Because at the minute, back home, I'm recording a song that I wrote ages ago, but it doesn't feel like ages ago. Because you sort of wrote it, and then like a couple of months later you get to like rehearsing and learning it. Then I start gigging it, and everything goes out the window, and it becomes something completely different. Right. And then you sort of start like recording it, and like before you know it, it's been like a year or something. So or more than a year.
But so when you sing a song, are you reconnected to that initial emotion or that initial idea?
Yeah, sometimes like it takes like a picture or something, or like I don't know, just to get like, sometimes when I'm in the vocal booth, I'll like be like, right, this is the like just a picture of like something that just puts you back in that place, and then when you just get completely in that place.
Well, finally then. I don't know how to phrase this correctly, but is songwriting then, is it important for you in a way to get things out? Yeah,
I never kept a diary, so I guess the album's kind of like going to be a diary of the last however many years. So yeah, and it's like just looking, like I'm hoping like in 10 years time look back and be like, then it'll take me back to somewhere.
Right.
And then hopefully people who listen to it, maybe that'll do the same for them, but you never know.
Very last question, do you have an album title in mind?
No, but I'm open to suggestions.
Well, we couldn't come up with a couple.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
All right then, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.